For this project, I'm using some regular playing cards, and I decided to use some lower cards and 2 kings. The reason I'm using kings, queens, and jacks for the bottom portion of the pocket is because when you turn it around, it faces up both ways. Even though the 4s and the 3s and numbered cards do the same thing, I wanted to have the pictures here. So, it's pretty self-explanatory, but I'm going to run through real quick and show you how to do this. So the first thing you want to do is choose, for this one I'm going to use the ace and the 2, set this aside, and I want to use the king of diamonds. The heart looks a lot like it doesn't really matter. Anyway, so for this, the tools you're going to need, aside from the cards, is a pair of scissors is a good idea. You can use a bone folder, or you can actually use a pencil as a bone folder, which works just fine. For this, you don't have to do this part, but I like to do it. So if you want to put in a grommet and you have a grommet tool and the grommets, you'll need your hole punch, you'll need your grommet tool, and of course you'll need your hardware. Also, you may need a ruler and a pencil if you don't have a cutter to do the cutting. And for doing inking around the edges, I just use shoe polish, or you can use an ink pad and a blotter. And then of course you need some good tacky glue. If you don't want to use tacky glue, you can use something like Fabri-Tac or Fabri-Fix. They're both pretty similar. There's just a little bit of difference between the Fabri-Fix and the Fabri-Tac. But I generally use the Fabri-Fix for any kind of paper stuff, and then the Fabri-Tac for anything using fabric. It's really quite simple. All you're going to do is cut the face card in half, and you can either do that with a ruler and a pencil and your scissors, or you can use a cutter. Now, for this, I'm going to go ahead and measure, and it is 3.5 inches long. So I'm going to go 1.5 and 1/4. And that is halfway. Okay. So I'm going to put this along my straight edge and line up my mark. Oops. Alright. Now it looks kind of crooked, but that's okay. I don't mind because it's a handmade item. And not everything has to be perfect. So, I'm just going to go with this. Now, I'm going to want to round off these corners. So, you can either round them off with a pair of scissors. If you don't, you can kind of round them off using another card, or you can use a corner punch. I like to just, for this, do it by hand. And that's totally, it's okay. Now the other thing is, being that they're cards, you can very easily, use another card and then find something else to do with the piece if it totally goes south. Okay, I like that. I'm happy with that. Now, I'm going to turn this around because I want him to be facing straight up, which is actually kind of nice because if my goof is too bad, I can just kind of push it down and cut it off straight later. So all you want to do here is you want to glue around the edge so you can glue it onto here. Now, before you do that, determine if you want to go ahead and ink the edges. And I do. Also, you may want to do the other side. And I tried this on cards before, and obviously it works fine. Once it dries, it doesn't smudge or come off or smear off. It doesn't come off at all. Works perfectly. And actually, I'm not sure how ink would work on these shiny cards, but I know that the shoe polish is working really well. And you can see on this one, I have one that's very lightly done and one that's done heavier. And I think I'm going to duplicate that. I apologize, I'm a little out of breath today and I don't know why, no matter what I do. Talking seems to be rough on my lungs and I don't know why. So I may be getting a bit of bronchitis or something. This one, I want to do a little extra inking. Maybe not quite as drastic as this one. So I'm going to do a little bit lighter. And if you have an older deck of cards, that would be even better. But if you have a new deck, this is a good way to vintage it up and make it look more vintagey. So we're going to turn this around. And now we are ready to put our glue on. So we know this is how it's going to go. So we know we want to put glue around here and leave the straighter edge at the top. So I'm going to do just a little bit. Okay. And I'm mainly getting it straight here. Later I can cut this little bit off that's crooked. Okay. Now what I want to do is burnish this. And because it may seep out some glue. Put it on a tissue, and I want to burnish towards the outside. And it's moving around. You can use anything, you don't necessarily have to. You can just use your fingers. Give that a minute to dry. Alright, now once you think it's dry enough, you can go around the back. You can trim that up if it matters to you. Now once you trim it, you may want to go back with a little bit of inking. That's totally up to you. Okay. I think we're good. And now the only thing left to do is punch our hole and put in our grommet. And then later on, you can use this to hook a chain to, or put ribbon through it, or string, or whatever you want. So, you can put your hole in the center, or you can put it to the side. I kind of like the side here, but I think I'm going to do one in the center. I think I'm going to do these two in the center, so you can see how they both look. Now, I do know that with these grommets, they're a little tight in these holes. So what I like to do is make the hole a little bit bigger with a pencil. Okay. I think that's... I hate taking out more than I need because it's such a pain to put them back. So, the next thing is I'm going to take my... I want this to be the front. So I'm going to just make that hole a little bigger with my pencil. And now, whatever front side is the front is where you want to put the big part of the grommet, and you want to push it through and turn it over. Same here. Now, you want to put the ring on the back side, and when you look at the ring, it has an indented side. Don't know if you can see that. And then it has a smooth side. And your first inkling might be to put the smooth side up. You don't want that. You want the side that is grooved to be facing up, because this part here has little slits in it all around, and when you go to put it in the pliers and you squeeze it, it's going to break apart and it's going to bend them over into this little ridge that's left here. So make sure it's facing the right way. Now, your pliers have a side that has a hole in it and a ring. Then it has a side that has this little divot and it's closed. That little divot has to go inside of this piece. The round side will be on the front, which is here. So you'll want to put the round side down. You want to put the divot into, you want to make sure that it gets inside like so. Once you have it, you want to hold it and squeeze. Now hold it, keep squeezing, turn it sideways, and you can see that these are almost touching if it wasn't for the card. And you know that you have it far enough down. And there you go. You're going to do that again. You want to put the divot side down into this, like so. Squeeze. Make sure that it's tight. And there you have it. Now you have your two new pockets. And then here are the two from the side. And like I said, you can put ribbon in here, you can put chain in here, anything you want. So now you have little pockets to put different things in. Let's say you want to give someone a little gift of money. You can slide something in there and maybe make a keychain, put it on a keychain, and this could be gas money for a birthday present. Or you could put a little tag in here, gift tag, like so. All kinds of things. But play around, have fun with it, and I hope you found this video inspiring, and have a great day.